So so when I got back from LA, I was done with school. I was still in France. Um and I still had this restaurant hotel job. Um but that job was so ass, bro, that I ended up not even going back ever. Like when I got back from France, when I got back from LA in June or like July, I had like a little savings, enough to hold me over for like because I got paid like a bonus month or something like that. It was a weird thing. It was a weird thing. Um, and I ended up having a little bit of savings. Um, so when I came back, I ended up not going back to the job. I think it was like June, and I had enough. I got back in July, and I had enough to last me until like the end of August, basically. Um, so like just because me and my boss would clash all the time, bro. Like he would just yell at me, I would yell at him, bro. So the thing, one of the low key hacks is that in France, right? There's these contracts. It's called you have a CDD contract or a CDI contract. And the CDI contract is a contract that lasts indefinitely. Um, and those are very hard to fire people. It's not like in the US where you can just like fire people left and right. Like in France, like if you have that contract, you're basically like somewhat not replaceable, just because it's a very large, like bureaucratic administrative headache to get rid of people with contracts like that. So I had a contract like that with the restaurant, and I didn't know sort of like that it was that much of a headache for them to fire people with those contracts until one of my coworkers told me. He was like, "Yeah, what type of contract do you have?" I was like, "Oh, I have a CDI," and he was like, "Oh, like nah, like you won't get fired." Like no, like they never fire people with those types of contracts. I was like, "Oh, really?" Because like at the time I wouldn't say anything because I didn't want to get fired. So like my boss, he'd be yelling at me and I wouldn't say anything because I'm like, damn, bro, like I need this. I just need this. So I can't do anything stupid. But when I learned about that, it just changed not it changed the not changed the game, but it low key did because I was like, oh, I can't even get fired. I was like, all right, bet, say less, bro, because you can't, you can't tolerate disrespect from people. You gotta at least set your boundaries, you gotta at least set boundaries. You let people know like it's not okay to talk to you a certain way, or it's not okay to like treat you with a certain type of way. Like you gotta have a certain level of respect. And this dude was just walking around with zero respect, bro. Like, I come in there, I put in like I'm very coachable, like I'm very, you know, proactive about things. I just want things to run smoothly because I'm not lazy, but in a sense, I just want shit to run efficiently because if it's not efficient, that's just more work for me. So there's no incentive for me to not go in there and like make it just run the whole operation smooth. But he's coming in with some bullshit every time, like just talking crazy and reckless. So we used to just get hella into it. We used to just get hella into it, and I used to just sort of like laugh to myself because I knew he wasn't gonna do anything. Um, so basically, oh, and that's what it was. I had all my vacation days. That's how I got all that time because throughout the whole time that I was working, I didn't take a single vacation day. So I had all these paid, I had almost like, yeah, I had around like 2 months of paid vacation. Because in Europe it's 5 weeks per year. So in the year you get 5 weeks vacation. And I didn't take a single thing of vacation. Um, so at the end, you know, I was like, because I wasn't planning on coming back. So when I was going to LA, I was not planning on coming back to the job once I returned from LA. So I went to the office. I was like, yeah, I'm taking all my vacation days. He was like, you can't do that. I was like, but I'm doing it. And we had a long discussion about it and everything like that. And he was not on board, but he had to do it because it was like that's just what it was. Like it's his responsibility. So I laid all the vacation days. And then I ended up when I just ended up not going back. But it was risky. It was risky as fuck because basically what I said was that, all right, if I come back, bro, and I don't go back to this job, I need to find something ASAP. Like ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. And so when I got back to France, I was just applying like crazy, bro. Um, and it felt like it wasn't gonna work out for a long time. Like, when you're not really doing much. I mean, at this time I was like going to the gym, I had a lot of time on my hands, but the days go by like pretty slowly, you know. The days go by pretty slowly. So I was just doing what I could to just get in that position. And really what I was trying to do was that I was trying to go to Switzerland, because that was my goal, like that was my objective. So I felt like nothing was like working out. And then it started getting a lot closer to like I was running out, bro. Like I was like basically not almost out, but I got to a point where I had to really fucking like just tighten up, bro. Tighten up everything. Like, bro, even just getting McDonald's was like a struggle. I would be like, damn, I don't even know if I got enough for like a couple burgers, bro. Like, you know. Um, but again, I put myself in that position, so I got to take accountability for that. Um, but anyways, the applications are going through, getting rejected, 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 and it's just like, bro, crazy, just number of rejections, and then all of a sudden, one hits, like one hits, and another one hits, and another one hits. So I had three hit at the same time. I was like, bro, like this is crazy. You don't want to get overexcited either. Like you don't want to get too, you don't want to get too crazy with it. But I just felt good. Like finally, at some point, it was like, all right, like okay, maybe I'm not totally fucked. Maybe I'm not in a totally like fucked situation. Um, and I had accepted with one organization, which I'm not gonna say, and I was supposed to go there at the beginning of September. But then the other organization that I really wanted came back with an offer, um like the day that I was supposed to leave to go to I was supposed to go to Amsterdam. I was supposed to go to Amsterdam to work this job, but this other organization from Switzerland came back to me with an offer the day that I was supposed to leave, to go to Amsterdam, and it changed everything. So then I accepted that offer and then ended up moving to Switzerland. Um, and then yeah.